It's Tony at McMahon Alternators, and this is my personal vehicle, the little tech truck that I'm trying to throw out these little tips and tricks to people. And sometimes reading instructions can confuse some people or just not be clear. So let's do the video thing and point and all that good stuff, and we'll show you what's going down. Covered a few things already. I think the P103 grounds, and just picking apart little things that come to me as I hear it or see it come across my computer. And a lot of people now are running the multiple battery setups. So figure let's talk about that. This is a 2008 Silverado. It's the RVC controlled application that I've bypassed on. I'll cover that again later. Just hang around for it. Just want to get these real quick ones that are fairly simple to explain, but intimidating to some. So again, 2008 Silverado. This came with the factory battery over here, and there was just an empty space over here. It was not being used. It's 2008 extended cab, two-wheel drive, LTZ, 5.3 liter. Pretty standard issue. A lot of the Chevrolets come with this open area. You know, it's a freebie. So what I did is I just went and grabbed another AGM battery, like on the other side over there. I like the AGMs. They're a little more durable, longer warranties on them. This is just what was at a parts store. You know, I'm just trying to be what normal guy would just go grab a battery. I know you can get the real nice excess power ones and whatnot, and maybe that's in the future, but again, I'm just trying to keep this pretty normal as it is. And they serve the purpose for what we're doing. So drop the exact same battery that goes, I think these are group 48s. I think that's what they are. So they're identical over here. And then it mounts just the same. You can put another bolt and a little plastic piece down there like factory, and it's in there good. It's not going anywhere. So with this alternator, the RVC system is bypassed. I have one single wire here that turns the alternator on. It goes 12-volt switch. Cover that later. But for now, the way you hook these dual batteries up to be as effective as possible is off your alternator. You come off with your 0 gauge power and ground. They both go, both of this wire goes to the ground, and the positive that goes through here is in the Tech Flex. Comes over here and runs into the battery with kind of terrible heat shrink I did, but it works. So it comes here. It's going to charge this battery, and then off these blocks that you can get anywhere, there's nothing special. It's a block. I take one of the 0 gauge outputs. This is my power wire. It comes up, goes across the back. It's secured zip ties. I think I've got 3 or 4 back there, plus it's inside a little valley. You want to make sure that's not falling down. Worst case scenario, it's going to lay on top of the cover. So it comes all the way over here to the other battery, goes in here, and these other 2 wires, this one's your starter, and then this other one back here goes to this fuse. This is a factory fuse, factory wire behind here, and just ties into there. There's no need to replace those. You can if you want to make it look good, but it's not pulling the amperage that these are. So the factory wires work just fine. So as you can see, I completely removed the factory charge wire that used to plug in here, that went here over to the alternator. You can leave it if you want to. I just prefer less is more, and if it's not needed, it needs to go. So didn't need it, got rid of it, so it's a little cleaner there. Everything's taken care of. That's just the way that I did it. It works just fine this way. From here, the ground goes from here to the frame shock mount bolt, and then this other ground goes, the original ground that went to the block on the stud here, or the cylinder head, I just replaced it completely. So got rid of that one. It also had the RVC on it. I'll talk about that later. Just pretend this is normal routing for like 9604s. So comes off of the block and then goes straight to the battery, just like the factory one did. The other ground is your one on the shock tower frame bolt. It's actual frame, not body, the frame. So that's cleaned up, that's taken care of. Same ground over here on this one. The ground goes from negative here to the shock mount bolt on the frame, and the other ground will be the alternator. So we get asked, do you need a fuse in line? You never really need a fuse. The fuse is there for insurance, peace of mind. I didn't put a fuse in mine. I'm pretty confident it's not going to get pinched and whatnot, but if you did need to put a fuse, you would put the fuse in this approximate area, close to the battery that's being charged. This other here is obviously my stereo that we'll get into later on. But dual battery setup, it's really simple. You just got to make sure you got the right wires, and just positive to positive, negative to negative, or negative to frame ground, negative to frame ground, and you're pretty good to go. The only other ground that I added would be the one on the back here. This is your factory ribbon ground, and I don't really need it anymore, but that bolt's all the way on the back of the cylinder head. I don't feel like taking that thing off, so I just took this off and put a new 0 gauge here. I have some stuff grounded to the actual body in the back, so I want to make sure the body is grounded as well, because the body's bolted to the frame on rubber and some bolts and not great. So I have a 0 gauge here running from the body, and it runs down to the exact same bolt that's grounded here at the battery. So now the whole vehicle's grounded up and should work perfectly, which, been listening to the stereo in this thing, it's I'm not dropping below 14, 6, 5, whatever on some hits, and it's a pretty healthy sundown amp back there. So cool. Other than that, dual battery setup, pretty easy. Just need some cables and some distribution blocks for that, and you're good to go. So alrighty, on to the next. Tony, mecman.com if you need anything. Social media, whatever, Facebook, Instagram, usually over there, easy to contact. Thanks again, guys.